Hello, this is Sarah Bowder and Connie Strunk, SDSU Extension Field Specialists, and today we're in a field of wheat in northeast South Dakota. This is a stand of winter wheat. This spring the grower mentioned that it didn't look so great from the start, but it tillered out and looks quite nice today, despite some of the conditions. It's been through a relatively dry year, and as it's warming up, we're seeing, this wheat is headed to flowering, but not there yet. We're just at flag leaf and heading, depending on what plant you're looking at. So we wanted to talk a little bit about this wheat stand, and as much of the winter wheat in South Dakota is at a similar state, there's a few things we saw out here. We are at a wheat walk today, and our breeder was here discussing different lines, as well as some of our agronomists, different extension folks, and plant diseases and insects were discussed quite extensively. So this field in particular has a lot of predators. There are lady beetles crawling around in the stand. There you can see a ladybug. We see both lady beetles and ladybugs out here quite thick, so there's a lot of predators, as well as aphids. So of course if they're here, that means they're feeding on something. So we can see some different aphids depending on what leaf you look at, although as we scout the field we don't see a huge incidence of aphid and are not terribly concerned about controlling them at this point. The flag leaf looks relatively clean, and that brings us to discuss plant diseases a little bit. I'm going to turn it over to Connie Strunk, our plant pathology field specialist.
With the fields and conditions, it's been pretty dry. There was an early season fungicide applied to the field. The only thing upon scouting the wheat field here that we're seeing is some barley yellow dwarf. It is a virus that is vectored by different aphids, primarily in South Dakota, the bird cherry oat aphid. With barley yellow dwarf, typically you're going to find it on the flag leaf or the leaf below the flag leaf. It's going to start at the tip, kind of a yellow coloration, and it'll kind of move down the leaf of the plant. Depending on your cultivar or variety out there, you may have like a red or a purplish hue on the leaf. So this is just a plant that I pulled from the field, and if you see another plant here in the field, you'll see that yellow kind of really flags up with that striking yellow color. Again, it is a virus, so there's no control at this point in time with the barley yellow dwarf out in the field.
And that's what we had to share with you today about wheat. Not a lot of huge concerns in this particular field of winter wheat. It's looking relatively nice, and like we said, the flag leaf is quite clean in most situations. So I think the general recommendation, if you wanted to be conservative, would be to wait until to apply fungicide until flowering.
Yep, we're getting upon flowering time. Right now we feel like the risk is going to be pretty low, but we wanted you to monitor that and just watch to see with the weather if things were to change with some moisture and some cooler temperatures. But as of right now, we're feeling like things are going to be pretty low for scab.